How do you turn this thing on?
Welcome back to Spanmade. I am at my mum and dad's house this week. I hopefully will be getting home soon. I have hurt my ankle quite dramatically just before Christmas. It's got some chipped bones, a torn ligament, and lots of muscle and tendon damage, and I haven't been able to walk all month, which has been painful, but it has given me a really good chance to do a whole lot of reading. My really good reading month consisted of 6 books in total, which is huge. Granted, I didn't really read all of 2 of them, so really it's only 4 books, which is about a book a week, which equals out to what I was doing last year. Only last year I was stressing to try and get to that goal, and this year I'm not. This is heavy. These are the books. I'm so done with these books. So I'm gonna do a little recap of each one. I guess this is a reading wrap-up, isn't it? Let's just start. So the first book that I read this year, or I finished this year, was called All the Bright Places. I read this fantastic Jennifer Niven book because of its presence on BookTube. I'd just seen it round, I thought the cover was really cool, a lot of people were talking about it. I found myself really sharing the same mindset as one of the characters in this book, which then was a bit detrimental. Beautifully written, really powerful book, and I really enjoyed reading that one. I'm so glad I read it. And then because it's kind of a sad book and I was in that vein of thinking anyway, I just broken my ankle, it's all a bit and then my friend Jessie Kate, she lent me another book that she'd just finished reading that she thought was very inspiring, and she wanted to ask me if I thought it was sad and if it would ruin my life, and it's called Tuesdays with Maury. So this book explicitly tells you it's about an old man who is dying, and it goes into his personality, how he deals with it, the coping methods of grief, how to live with disease sort of thing, and what is important to you in life. And yeah, it was inspirational and it was sad. I cried like a baby and I felt a little bit ill because of his sickness in some spots, but yeah, it was a bit depressing and a bit raw, but that's what the book was about, and it was inspiring at the same time. So that was the sort of theme I was going for at the beginning of the week, and then I was like, no, you know what, I need to break away into something that I love. So for Christmas I was given Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Isn't this gorgeous? They're so pretty. With the covers, I hate that feel. Ugh, makes my skin crawl. Fantastic Beasts, the screenplay. I'm so done with this book. I tried to read it, I'd seen the movie at first, and I loved the movie. The movie's fantastic, it's so cool, it's got so many cool graphics, a great storyline, and I really enjoyed it and thought it was hilarious and I loved it. And then it's just literally word-to-word dialogue of the movie, which is what a script is, granted, but it's not what I wanted. I wanted bigger descriptions, I wanted more in-depth storyline, I wanted details, and all I had were memories of the movie. So I got about, I don't know, halfway through or so. What I really wanted was just an almanac of what's actually in his book, like the Fantastic Beasts. Like, I actually want that textbook, really. I want the textbook. I don't want to read a movie. Like, this is reading a movie, which is very much what I thought about Cursed Child, which I finally got around to reading. It was okay. Look, I knew a lot of people didn't like it, so I went into it thinking it was going to be terrible, and well, it was. When I'm reading, I never have to check who's talking when I'm reading a novel, but when I'm reading a script, every line, I have to be like, wait, who said this? The main problem I found with it was that it's the wrong age group. The immersive world of Harry Potter worked really well for the reader who read the book that were roughly the same age, give or take a couple of years. The extremity of what was happening in the books got more intense as we grew up. Now they've jumped forward, I don't know, 19, 22 years. It's like they've lived so much life that we haven't seen that we kind of felt a bit removed from it. I'm pretty sure most people don't feel like a grown-up, especially the people who grew up reading Harry Potter. None of us are head of the Ministry of Magic. Or maybe that's just a reflection on me. But yeah, anyway, I think that the story was alright, although, I hate to say it, but I did feel a lot like it was queer-baiting me. So that's the Harry Potter books. And then I also read at least the first chunk before the recipes start of the gut health book. I follow a paleo diet and Mum got this for Christmas, and it shows you, kind of talks you through how food actually goes through your system in your body. It was a really great refresher because I learned a whole bunch about it a couple of years ago when I first found out about all my intolerances and digestive problems. So that was really interesting and cool. I didn't read every single recipe in the book, but I did have a flick through and find some that I really want to make. The last and favourite book that I read for the month was called The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. It is awesome. I'm so done with it though, it took so long. So it was storytelling at its most long-winded, full of hot air. It is written from the perspective of a guy telling his life story to a scribe. Okay, that's fine, but it did just sort of go on and on and on. Like, I felt like it's when a family friend of ours, he comes over and he likes to tell a story, so he'll kind of keep the attention on him and draw out this story forever, and he'll tell you all the different details, and then he'll be like, oh, and remember the cocaine? Yeah, that's why I mentioned that earlier. He was addicted to cocaine. It kind of felt a little bit like that. Every single female character in the book was some sort of love interest or potential love interest, which is normal for a teenage boy's perspective. Of course he's going to notice all that. It just was a little bit too much like, I don't know, underrepresentation, I guess. I really liked it, and it kept me enthralled, and I wanted to know what happens next, and I was interested in the character, and I like the magic and the use of words, like the language being magical. I thought that was really cool. It's a very long-term book. I know it's got sequels, and the guy's still writing the books now. I looked it up. He's fantastic, by the way. I looked up Patrick Rothfuss's other books, which are not kids books but they are picture books, and they are just absolutely brilliant. I did find it very heavy. I did drop it on my face quite a few times. Cool, so that's my reading for the month. Whoa, this is not going well. Watch me do something really dangerous. This is not actually possible. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you in the future. Whoa, that was loud. How do you turn